Hi, I'm Kaylee. I'm filling in for Sarah, so she's not here today, so might be a little bit rusty. But we met with Darren and Pete, and do you just want to give us a little bit of an idea of what you do?
So I'm Darren, I work for Newcastle Rugby Foundation, which is the charitable part of the Newcastle Falcons Rugby Club. Part of our work that we do is around improving the well-being of people across the North East. And we're in the second part of a partnership with NHS and Northumbria Healthcare Trust on improving staff well-being. So part of that's through the Falcons Fit programme that Pete runs.
Yeah, I'm Pete. I started with the foundation at the end of November as a health and wellbeing development officer. So Falcons Fit is one of my key sort of outputs really. So yeah, I'm looking forward to taking this on and moving it forward and seeing what we can get out of it in the future.
We ran Falcons Fit programme for staff last year. For those who didn't hear about it, can you just give us a little bit of information about what it is and how it's ran?
Yeah, so it's a 12-week sort of healthy lifestyle program, looking at your sort of overall nutrition, getting people exercising a bit more. There's 12 sessions, all run from Kingston Park in the stadium. We always will start off with like a bit of a lifestyle presentation, whether it's a nutrition or alcohol or sort of mental well-being, something like that. And then the second half of the session is always some sort of activity, whether it's circuit training or some sort of running, rugby-based thing on the main pitch, and everything's around in the stadium. We've got gym kit and things there, and everything's there, so they can experience the stadium as well as doing a bit of exercise there.
I think that's a good selling point, isn't it? So you've got a little bit of education in the beginning, and then you've got the perks of being in a stadium, which is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, inspire a few people maybe being on the pitch at the same time. Yeah, it's good. So
what changes are you expecting that the participants are making in the programme? What do you hope for?
So hopefully throughout the 12 weeks, we sort of encourage them to do a bit more activity day to day, whether that's walking your dog, going out for a run, bike ride. So they should be more active. Encouraging to make sort of healthier choices with their sort of food and drink, that sort of thing. Hopefully increase their mental well-being through some exercise and just sort of chatting to other people when they're at the sessions. And as a byproduct of the extra exercise and the better nutrition, hopefully they'll lose some weight, be a bit fitter and more stronger. Hopefully they'll be more confident within themselves after all of this as well as making some more friends while they're there, us included.
I think it's got the rugby element into it as well, but do you really have to be into rugby? Because, that could put people off a little bit or really kind of entice people in. So do you have to be into rugby to kind of come onto the programme?
You definitely don't need any rugby experience. We had loads of these questions the last time when we recruited people onto the programme. It's not a rugby programme. We just use the facilities at the rugby. We're a rugby foundation, but we're not necessarily about making rugby players. So people don't have to worry about coming down and taking part in scrums and line-outs and stuff. That's not what it's about.
It'd be fun, though.
It could be, and if people do want to do that, we can do it. But it's mainly our kind of ethos is using the values of rugby to kind of inspire people to make positive changes to their life. In terms of our values that we try and put through the programme is things like our positive energy, try and relate that onto participants. Supportive and caring is another really important value on a programme like this, where people might kind of be struggling or it is a big change for them. And then up for a challenge, we try to get the participants to set themselves a challenge, but then it's a challenge for us as well to keep them motivated across the 12 weeks and make real impacts to their life.
And then by the end of it, you might want to take up rugby.
Yeah, so we use rugby-themed activities. So we'll use the rugby ball. When we're doing steps, we'll be on the rugby pitch, but we won't be playing rugby. By the end of it, we might be able to play walking rugby or touch rugby. So that contact element and whacking each other is not part of the programme.
So if you're coming for that, It's not that.
Yeah,
it's not about
it's not that. No.
So Darren, I think the cohort from last time there was a lot of females on that one, and it's a very male-dominated sport. So is there anything that you're going to do differently this time just to make it a little bit more appealing?
So last cohort was probably about 90% female and 10% male, which is normally the opposite of what we get when we run a generic Falcons Fit programme. So there was a bit of learning for the staff around how to adapt to sessions and some of the different needs that females have across the 12 weeks, whether that's in the lifestyle sessions or the physical activity. But ultimately, the program's kind of tried and tested to get positive results for people, and the main kind of curriculum of the program's around increasing your steps, being more active and making slight adaptations to your diet, so it doesn't really matter if you're male or female. So we will make some specific adaptations, but what we would like to do as well is like encourage more males to come along. Well, we know the data around like the trust and how it is female kind of dominant in terms of numbers of staff, but it would be great to see more men down. But also we do appreciate that the majority of the people are female, so everybody's welcome. In terms of the training on the programme, it's individually, you train as an individual but part as a group, so you don't have to kind of worry about what other people are doing. So like somebody could be doing 10 press-ups in a minute and somebody could be doing like 5 press-ups in a minute, and they're both working, so that it doesn't matter what gender you are, really is the main thing. We also have a female member of staff in the team that's going to come in and do some female-specific workshops while the male staff work with the males, just if there's some sensitive issues that people don't want to discuss.
So what would you say to somebody who wanted to get involved but was a little bit apprehensive, possibly because of their current fitness levels or mental health? Is there any advice that you would give?
So we've got a sort of come and try event on the 9th of April at the stadium. So what we'd really encourage people to do is to come down on the 9th, meet the staff, have a chat about maybe their goals and what they want to achieve, and just get a feel for the facilities, because we appreciate it can be daunting going to a brand new venue, especially if they've got kind of expectations of what the people might be like there. But definitely come down, give it a go. We work with so many people that are inactive and various fitness levels. They've got different goals in terms of weight loss or confidence, or just being kind of included in a social environment with like-minded people. So yeah, just kind of take a big step and sign up, and we'll support you on your journey.
So that's on the 9th of April?
Yeah, so we're taster events on the 9th of April at the Kingston Park Stadium. And
is there any big success stories from the programme that you'd like to tell us about?
Yeah, we've got loads of success stories. A big part of the programme is measuring data, so we like to capture people's data at the start and then some at the midway point and some at the end, and that allows us to tell a story about people's journeys to hopefully give new participants the confidence to come on to show that they can make similar changes. So we've had the programme's been running for about 8 years, and right from the start, it originally started as a men's programme with weight loss being the focus to try and reduce the risk of cancer. So we had a couple of men that lost a considerable amount of weight across the 12 weeks, which then enabled them to take up running, and then their kind of long-term sustainability in terms of their exercises. They've joined community running groups. They now run half marathons, which is amazing, because when they've joined us, they were very overweight, and they probably couldn't walk 5k, never mind run 5k. So in terms of weight loss is one element. Others we've supported, war veterans who've come in, theirs was more of a social and a mental well-being side, where they needed to be part of a group to re-engage in physical activity. So giving them the confidence to take on new challenges and kind of better themselves. And then more recently, we've had a couple again. It was about just making small changes to diet and the physical activity levels in terms of walking the dog. They actually took up jogging, did the sort of couch to 5k. And then last summer they ran the Great North Run to raise money for our charity, which was amazing. And they, that person really struggled after lockdown, after kind of being stuck in the house, working from home, socially isolated. Their friend had actually had a heart attack, which was kind of linked to being an inactive lifestyle. So it was really important for him to kind of take on this challenge, and he's now a sort of like a role model for others, and he brings other people from his work to join that needs the support. So there's loads of like really positive stories. We've had people coming back from hip replacements, and that's their first kind of reintroduction to physical activity. So it's a good environment for anybody to start the kind of weight loss journey, or being active, or just being part of like a decent group of people.
So the final question, I know Sarah always asks this, what do you do to improve your own well-being? So it's always a killer question for everybody. What do you do?
I mean, I sort of train 5-6 times a week, really.
Yeah.
I'm a CrossFit coach as well, so I do that quite a few times a week. And then I'm played recently, but I'm definitely going to sort of take up rugby again at some point, whether that's for a team or...
Yeah?
Yeah, and then we're also running walking rugby sessions at Kingston Park as well.
Okay.
So every Wednesday, 10:30, just for an hour. So it gives a chance for people at work, if they can take a break, come out for sort of half an hour, 45 minutes, get away from your desk, have a little bit of exercise out on the pitch again, and then you can jump back in. So just little parts of that, just to help sort of boost how people are feeling, really. But yeah, mainly just sort of training and stuff for me.
Yeah, and then for me, just like outside of training in the gym, but I use the gym as a bit of like an escape, but getting out down the beach, going for walks, going for bike rides, and then trying to kind of follow some of our own advice around healthy choices, around food and
Hard
drinks.
doing it yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard, especially when you like got busy family life and stuff like that. But yeah, just getting out in the fresh air, that's kind of my main one.
Well, thank you both for coming along and sharing all that information. So we've got the taster session, which is
9th of April at Kingston Park. It's starting at around about 5:30. That's just before the current Falcons Fit session will be started, so there might be a little bit of crossover. There might be to meet a few people that are actually on it as well.
So if anyone's a little bit unsure, they should come along to that one. Just drop in, have a visit, see what the kind of thing is that you would be expected to see or come across.
Come along, have a chat to us. There'll be a sort of sample activity session, nothing too extreme, but yeah, just come along and have a go.
Brill. And then the next Falcons Fit, which is the...
So the next Falcons Fit starting on the 30th of April. It runs to the 16th of July. So we're looking for 40 new participants to come on that want to make a positive impact to their lifestyle. And they'll run every Wednesday night from 6:30 till 8 p.m. Kingston Park Stadium.
Brill. So if anyone's listening and wants to have a little go, have a little shot, that'll be happening very soon. Thank yous.